Welcome back to Commercials and Dragons. I'm Jason Portizo, and today I am joined by, I got a full squad today. Jim Crocker's here.
Hey, how we doing?
Josie Diaz is here.
Yo.
And Corporal Greg Genovas is here.
Oh, am I no longer Admiral?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's a promotion or not.
Actually,
that's
we've
a different branch
demoted
of the
you
Army.
back down to Petty Officer.
Yes, we've taken 500 XP off of your character sheet.
God damn it.
So please
that'll
welcome
teach you to mouth off between podcasts.
level 1 monk, Greg Genovas. Check out last week's episode to see what the hell we're talking about. Josie, make me suffer.
Perpetually.
That's really all you do.
I'm
Josie,
sorry. Were you telling me to read my horror story, or
If
were
you
you
could,
just
please.
making a statement?
Both. It's first one, then the other. Read
So
me the
this
horror story,
is-
then off mic, make me regret life.
All right. This one's hot off the presses. It's only 6 hours old. It is posted by user NZ8DRZU6. I'm not going to try to figure out what the fuck that is. But this is
It's actually a cat walking across its keyboard.
Metagamer acts on wrong info, gets party TPK'd, accuses me of cheating. Campaign ends.
I love when titles are the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was just bullet point after bullet
Yeah,
point.
I mean,
Yep.
TLDR, the campaign's over. But don't you want to know all the fun, juicy details?
No,
Yeah, give us-
TLDR is the title. The title is the TLDR.
Yeah, come on.
No, just I'm not fast forwarding through this cutscene, so come on.
My level 5 party was facing an archmage who kidnapped one of their allies. This NPC means a lot to them. They casted Revivify to save her once before. This enemy was supposed to use her to blackmail the party into revealing secret information, and with clever role-playing, they could get the archmage to drop clues on this NPC's whereabouts. I allow my table to strategize out of character, and they wanted to fight him. I warned them repeatedly they're seriously outmatched and strongly recommended they don't. They snuck up on him and used silence and grapple. On his turn, he casts Psychic Scream and TPK'd the party. Later, one player sent me a post mentioning that when DMs change NPCs' spells, it alters their CR, turning a deadly fight into an impossible one. He said silence and grapple was a clever strategy that should have led to them winning. I spoke with a player who was frustrated because in Session 0 he asked if there were any variant rules we'd be using, and to him, NPCs changing prepared spells is a variant rule. It's not, it says in the Monsters Manual. He admits he knows out of character the Archmage can easily be killed with silence combo, which is why he pressed to attack the Archmage. My Archmage had nonverbal spells because I saw one of my characters had silence. I made this decision before the session, not during their strategizing when they said they were about to use it. This decision was metagamey on my part, so I feel mistakes were made on both sides. The party was looking forward to pulling a victory out of the jaws of death. The metagamer says there's no way the Archmage should know what spells we have, and says I cheated. He has now left the group and blocked us. I spoke to the rest of my group. I'm going to dissolve the game and take a break from DMing.
You can't make decisions based on what spells we have, because I was trying to make decisions based on what spells you have.
Yeah, that was the thing I noticed.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
You can't do that. I'm already doing it.
Right.
Mhm.
when I looked at the metagamer's character sheet, I saw that the metagamer had taken this spell. So in order to mess with the metagamer, I took that just like I'm sorry.
No, okay, so let me ask you this, and I don't really know if there's a real correct answer to this. Can a DM really metagame? Is your game?
Technically, all he's doing is metagaming. He is the meta that the game is happening in.
That's what I mean. Is that not okay?
So the problem here, I think, is that there's a different problem than the problem that the DM thinks it is and that the players think
Yeah.
it is. Like, the players are upset that the DM changed which 9th level spell he smoked their 5th level party with, right? So, like, you know, if the DM had kept Meteor Swarm, you know, instead of and like Psychic, and also I just want to take a moment to say that Psychic Scream is a particularly like bitchy edgelordy spell to TPK a party with.
I think it's so funny.
If you, like, exactly, that's it. But it's just like so punitive. It's like, I want the spell that lets me describe each of your heads exploding because you were stupid enough to attack my character. Like, that's kind of the feeling that this has to it, is just that
I'm gonna-
so, but where, sorry, go ahead, Greg, disagree with me, please.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to disagree because it was from how Josie read it. I feel like it was taken beforehand and planned. It wasn't like, again, we only know what was posted, but it doesn't sound like, oh no, my plans have been accounted for, so I'm going to punish you. It was, as a DM, you should have maybe not like complete knowledge of your players' character sheets, but you should know what they are able to do. And I feel like having, I'll use the word contingencies to like a quick and easy counter like that is not out of the realm of like any DM's wheelhouse where it's like, I'm pulling this out of my ass because this happened. It seems like he planned to make a more fulfilling encounter later in the session. And again, according to the story, the metagamer admitted to pushing to encounter it.
And that was after the OP says, I warned them repeatedly that they're seriously outmatched and strongly recommended they don't. And then a little earlier said that they were supposed to, the enemy was supposed to use the NPC that they were attached to blackmail the party into revealing information, but that they could role play to get hints about, like, there was a plan that it was not going to be a combat thing. And the DM was like, this isn't really the way to go. I'm telling you out of character, this is a bad idea and you shouldn't do it. And they were like, well, we're going to do it anyway.
Okay. So there's this is one of the things that we get a lot of in this RPG horror story thing that I see, which is a lot of these stories, the phrase like I warned them or I strongly hinted or I let them know it probably wouldn't work, does a lot of work there in a way that, like, not being at the table, I don't know what that means. If that means, I don't know, if you guys think that's good, then okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because like I think we talked about this earlier about the difference between saying, if you do this, it will have this outcome. And if you do this, you need to be really smart about it.
Yeah.
Because those are two very different things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like that DM had a bunch of other options besides I blow up all your heads.
True. That's also very true.
I hold person all of you. Like with an NPC that powerful, he can basically do whatever he wants.
Hold person doesn't have a that's a spell, right? That doesn't have a verbal component.
Sorry, I'm just but I'm sure there's ninth. He could throw up its ninth level spell. He could throw up a prismatic wall between him and the party, right? So there's. I mean, the problem is that the players thought that they had like a way to shortcut that encounter, right? To like one shot it. Like, we silence him, shank him, that's it. Woo! We've killed an 18th level caster and as a 5th level party. Like, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely that shouldn't happen. The DM should like have all kinds of ways to keep that from happening. I mean, not least of which is just never have a 5th level party encountering an 18th level caster in the first place in a way that they can actually initiate a combat. But he can teleport away. He can throw up a force field. He can, knock them all out and they wake up in a jail cell and they can do the jailbreak thing. But boy, or if it's but if no kidding, you have it set up so that the practical effect of that is really no kidding going to be rocks fall, everybody dies if you attack this guy. You got to say to them, I need you to understand that if you do this, I will kill all of you. It will be a TPK, and then we'll decide what to do from there. You need to be like absolutely explicit about that because there's no way that the only way they could get around that, the DM specifically said, well, I've figured out the way they can get around this and I've countered that. So,
I think my problem was that when he went and talked to the metagamer person outside, like to the side, he said, oh, I knew out of character that the Archmage can easily be killed with a silence combo, which is why he wanted to attack. But it's, again, with metagaming, like, does your character know that? And he was, like, again, he was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
For sure.
then the question is, was the DM listening to them discuss this out of character? Because they discussed it. They discussed their tactics out of character, and what they brought up in that discussion? And did the DM hear this?
Well,
That's
he
an
said
interesting
that he
question.
had planned this previously, but he was also listening to the discussion, which is when he was like, "You guys are outmatched. I would really because you don't want to be like, don't do it, because at the end of the day, you're not trying to tell them how to play their story."
Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm very comfortable in a situation where, like, because of something that happened with the game, or you kind of accidentally end up in that situation. I'm very comfortable saying, look, this wasn't supposed to get to the point where you could actually confront him physically. It's not set up for that. I don't have this encounter written up. You can talk, we can have a conversation if you want, but there's not going to be a combat here. And you can totally do that. And I'm completely comfortable with that. And I don't even think that's necessarily saying, like, you can't. I mean, I guess it is kind of saying you can't do this. But it is also saying, like, the physics of the world are not set up to allow for this at this particular point in time. So, and I'm very comfortable doing that. And I wish more DMs were more comfortable. There's also a certain of, like, you never want to admit you made a mistake, right? That, like, the story kind of got away from me, and you guys are here in the room with him, and that wasn't supposed to happen until you were 15th level, and I screwed up. So we're just gonna, kind of hand wave our way out of that. People are very reluctant to admit that they've painted
I just
themselves
love
into
that the
a corner
argument
that
was
way.
like, you're metagaming. I know that because I'm metagaming.
Yeah. There's some of that for sure.
And that's one of the reasons, like, obviously the DM could have handled it better. Like you said, Jim, like, be honest with the party about the TPK. But, like, I don't necessarily have a problem with him, like, having a nonverbal spell when you know one of your players has the silence spell prepared.
That's
Like,
totally fine.
yeah.
Like, and as long as it's not a, like, as long as it's not a, like, I now give this to every single enemy caster you fight, so that, like, you never get a chance to do this strategy that you've come up with and stuff.
No, this was one archmage that can change its prepared spells just like you can.
Yeah.
Sure. It absolutely didn't have to be.
Oh, it didn't have to be a TPK,
so now you all die instantly.
Did not. Yeah.
Not only that, but in a gross manner that I get to describe, like, how horrible it all is.
Mm-hmm.
So now the question here is that do the two instances of metagaming cancel each other out?
I mean, no, because one of them overpowered the other, and then the guy left and blocked everyone.
I mean, in the sense that it's like matter and antimatter meeting, and when that happens, everything explodes and everyone dies. I mean, it ended the campaign. So
Sure.
So they canceled each other out explosively, I think, is what happened there.
Here's the part where it gets, like, a little fuzzy for me. So, like, we've established that a DM can change a monster's spells or a monster's stats really for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's their world. B, you shouldn't know these things going into it. So, like, God forbid the party's on their toes a little bit, but like, are we going to judge this DM for doing so for that reason?
I mean, like I judge them not for switching up the stats of that monster, which is totally fine. That's totally cool. Also, the fact that he's using NPC there to describe a monster, whatever, like an opponent, an enemy, is a little confusing in this story, because at the beginning he talks about this NPC they revivified, and then later he's using NPC again to describe his, whatever, like GMPC insert that he's got there. Like, I don't blame him for changing it. I blame him for changing it in a way that is basically, that is insta kill, right?
Yeah, there was definitely
definitely
ways to go about that, where it's like, this silence right now does not matter. That does not involve a TPK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can counter that. And like I said, with apologies to Jason, there's a certain amount of Magic the Gathering style thinking that goes into some of these things, where it's like, I've found the killer combo that gets around the rules of the way, encounter balance works and stuff like this. And it's like, okay, I guess maybe in some instances you do find that, But like, we're not going to let you use that all the time, and it's not going to be a regular thing, because otherwise there's no point in playing the game if you can just, shortcut to the end every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know who I dislike more in this situation.
Everyone's an asshole.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate. I mean, this is just like lack of communication and lack of. This is a game that needed a session 0. Ooh boy!
Well, they had a session 0. A session 0
they
where
did?
he asked.
Wait, what? Did I completely miss that? Oh, that's right. About variant rules and stuff this. Yeah.
And he said that changing the prepared spells is a variant rule.
No, there we go. Yeah.
No, first of all, no, it's not.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it's not. Yeah. No,
so let's just get that out of the way.
So I think honestly, Metagamer is more of a prick than the DM.
Yeah, I mean, like Metagamer is a prick for expecting that their, like we said, that their exploit would work. That we don't have to do a regular fight like the rules say we do, because we found this tricksy way to get around it and one-shot this thing.
It sounds like he might have convinced the party, oh, let's do this because I have this out of character knowledge of how we can beat him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After they were like, I strongly suggest you do not fight this. There's other ways. It'd be one thing if it was just like, maybe you'll win. Who knows? Maybe there was another thing I wanted you to do. I'm just like, he was, I know what you were saying about like, it's a little wishy-washy, but like, I strongly suggest you don't do that is the very nice, polite way of saying, I'm not trying to tell you how to play your character, but this is going to end poorly for you.
Oh yeah, Josie, the shirt you got me, you can certainly try.
Certainly try.
Coming from the mouth of a DM carries a lot more weight than normally.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go think about my life for a while and decide how I feel about the story. Because I want to be madder than I am, but like, I just think, I don't know. I feel like the DM just one up the metagamer.
Yeah, like it's like the D&D
equivalent. I don't want to say this DM is the hero of the story because he's not.
Definitely not.
Maybe the anti-hero. I don't know.
This is like a Coen Brothers movie, right? Where like
it's not the hero we wanted, but it is the hero we deserved.
Exactly. It's like a couple of people come up with a stupid ass plan that they think is brilliant, and then just mayhem ensues and nobody wins and it's terrible. So
yeah. I mean, the metagamer is definitely definitely the clear bad guy. I just don't know how. I don't know if I'm ready to like or dislike this DM.
I mean,
I don't know how I feel about the DM, but I definitely know how I feel about the metagamer.
Yeah, that part's easy. I'm past that. That guy sucks.
The victims. I mean, the horror story is for the 4 other people sitting at the table, going, "What the fuck just happened there?" Like looking at each other. Shit! What? You said this plan was foolproof,
right?
Like, and now we're out of. Now we're out of
re-rolling characters.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Did you just say my head exploded? Is that what just happened there? That's
oh, I guess we can't play D&D anymore. You guys want to go get jobs or something? I don't know. All right, we're gonna do the horror story next week. I need to go think for a while. I'm Jason. These are Jim, Josie, and Greg.
Are you sure?
We're online at places. Go find us. I don't know. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Curmudgeons and Dragons. Please share this with your favorite adventurers. Leave a review on Apple and follow us on social media. All links can be found at curmudgeonsanddragons.com. Practice safe adventuring, my friends.
This has been a JTP Audio podcast. Thanks for listening.